So, it's been about a month and a half since my husband passed away on July 5th of 2024. And this grieving has been very spontaneous, sporadic, up and down and all around. And it's like I noticed like the stages of grief that I'm in. And there's 5 stages. There's denial, depression, anger, bargaining, and acceptance. And even though I can feel those like more than one at a time and at different times, or they can all like correlate, like, you know what I mean? It's just weird to see like how I'm in the acceptance stage, which I am, but it's like I still bargaining. Like I still bargain. Like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda did this. Shoulda did that. We shoulda did this. We shoulda not went to the hospital. We shoulda went to this center, this cancer place. We shoulda did that. We shoulda, you know what I mean? And it's just, at the end of the day, it was my husband's time to go, even though he was only 36 years old, and it really breaks my heart, because he is the love of my life. And I just love him so much. And, his name is Joshua. And Joshua truly showed me unconditional love. He really did. Through my happy, my sad, my mad, my ugly, my joy, through all my emotions, he still showed me true unconditional love. And what's unconditional love? Unconditional love is loving with no conditions. It's not, oh, if you wash the dishes, or, oh, if you do this for me, then I'll love you. No. That's, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what mood I was in. Yeah, he was still, of course, a human, but honestly, I think he was an angel, based on the research and everything that I've done, And it's like, why did I only get 4 years? Why 4 years? Like, yeah, I'm grateful for 4 years, I know some people don't even get that with their partners, but it's just, it was so supernatural because, like, when I first saw my husband, I saw him at church, like, I met him at church, and it was very bizarre. Hear me out. So, I went to the church, and I had my daughters with me, and my youngest daughter was 10 months at the time, and I remember, like, I saw him across the room, and when I saw him, we locked eyes, and I heard an audible voice, "Your husband." And I literally felt chills and goosebumps, and I looked away, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, I decided to sit, because he was the guy that, like, did the slides at church, like the computer slides. So I decided to, sit by him. I don't know if that was I think it was a subconscious thing. But, like, I decided to sit by him, and I had my daughter, and she was going like this on my head, like, banging her head on my chest, really cute. And he looks at her, and he goes, "Oh, you little head banger." And I remember looking at him, and I smiled, and it made me, laugh. And, that was it. And then I remember after leaving the church that day, I was thinking about him, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, and the word that popped in my mind was mysterious. I thought of him as very, like, mysterious, like there was just something about him. And, well, anyways, later on that night, he popped up on my Facebook friends as suggested friends. Like, he just pops up. It was crazy because I had been thinking about him, and then all of a sudden I add him, and then I reached out to him first. I did, like, the little wave, like the little hand wave on Facebook. And, we started talking, and it was beautiful, and I remember my husband was, like, so shy. Like, he was shy. Like we would voice message or, like, message each other in voice message, and he did great. Like, he could hold a conversation, but it was like when we were in front of each other, like, face to face, he just would, like, he would stiffen up. Like, he got so shy. Like, he was so shy. So, like, I had to coach him and say, hey, it's okay. Like, like how you talk to me on voice message, you can do that in person. It's fine. And I, reassured him, like, I'm interested. Like, at first it was just more of like friendship, but the more that I got to know who he is as a person and his insight and his heart, I just, like, I fell in love. Like, he fell in love first with me, and then I fell in love with him, and it was just beautiful. Like, we started dating March of 2020, then we got engaged April 1st of 2020, and then we got married August 26th of 2020. And it was so special, and like I have a thing for redheads. I mean, I think everyone's beautiful, but like just something about red hair and blue eyes, and even like the strawberry blondes, and I just think it's so beautiful, like, and I just, it's crazy because he grew his beard and his hair, but and then it was the beginning of 2022 that he was diagnosed with melanoma, skin cancer. And I had, unfortunately, I had struggled with addiction in my life as well. Thank God he never struggled with that. He was sober. But me, I had always struggled for well over 10 years. And, struggle. And he still loved me through all of that. Like, a normal person would have been like, bye, I'm not dealing with her. But, he loved me through it. And that's true love. Like, it's amazing when you really love someone, like the lengths that you'll go, and just what you can love them through. And that's like source, God, the creator, divine. Like, no matter what we do, God still loves us, and it's beautiful. And I'm just so grateful that I'm married to him. And I've had, even after his passing, I had a couple like spiritual experiences that happened. Like, for instance, like the day after he passed away, I went to the grocery store and I was checking out, and this lady, and his favorite color was green, my husband's favorite color, and she was wearing a black ring with a green heart, emerald heart on her hand. It was beautiful. And then on the other hand, she was wearing a black and green wedding band. It wasn't just any wedding band. This was the first ever wedding band that I bought my husband. The same exact one, identical. And I looked at her other hand and I saw my husband's wedding band on her finger, and I just had goosebumps and chills. I'm like, and I felt my husband, and I heard, we're always going to be married. And it made me so happy. Like, it made me cry, honestly, because like, I hadn't seen that ring since it was on my husband's finger, and it was just beautiful. It was just a beautiful experience. How spirit, they still connect with us, and they show us signs and symbols and music, and and like another experience that I had too is, my husband would always say, oh, my wife, oh, that's my wife. And I loved when he said it, because it just made me feel like I just loved it. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, oh, I miss when he would say that to me. And I was thinking, oh, I wish I had a video of him saying that, right? Thinking that. And then literally the next day, his email, Joshua sharing photos, magically starts sharing his photos with me. His email just randomly starts sharing photos with me. Well, it was him. I looked through the photos, and not only did I found one, but I found 2 videos of him saying, oh, that's my wife. And he was just, you could just hear it in his voice. Like, he was so happy. Like, it was just so special, like, I can't believe it. Like, he answered me, like, like, these are not, and like, these little things, like, oh, what a coincidence, and it's not, though. It's really not, because our minds are so powerful, and who we are, and even the other side, they still connect with us. They don't have a flesh and bone body anymore, so they have to use the tools of what they have, communicating through other people, through music, through signs and symbols, technology, feathers and just objects. They have to use other things other than their body to connect. So I thought that was really special. And even though it hurts, I cry a lot. And I, some days feel easier than others, but some days I'm just like, I miss him. I just want to give him a hug, and if you're dealing with, pain and grief and heartache, just know you're not alone. My story is filled with heartache and grief and motherhood and addiction and learning and growing and trials and tribulations. And I just want to tell you that you're not alone, and that I love you, and I wish you the best, and I invite you to come be part of my journey. Yes, be part of my journey, because we all need each other. And even though some of us may not have a family, you know what? We can all be family and connect through the internet, the power of the internet, So if this touched your heart, please like or comment how you feel, how you can relate. And I love you. Blessings.